So if you've watched our newest weekly news vid, you may have noticed that MU Legend is on its way to Steam. So I thought there was no better time to try out this game, since the last time I played it was when it had just launched, as I live streamed it. So without further ado, let us jump right in and see whether or not MU Legend is still good and worth playing at least early on. MU Legend is, at first glance, your atypical isometric action MMORPG. You've got the gender-locked characters, flashy and fantastic attack effects, beautiful visuals, and lots of plot. Engaging, well-thought-out story with great English voice actors that keep you invested as you progress through the game. Of course. Totally not anything else. Not anything else. The characters, as I mentioned just a moment ago, are, yes, gender-locked, which is a typical thing to encounter in Korean MMORPGs these days, but at least it has beautiful characters to play around with, even if the character creation is somewhat limiting, with just a few options here and there, 2 races to pick between that kind of change your look somewhat, but not really, as it's usually just a skin change with slightly more hairstyles. Yeah, like I said, it's very limiting. But still, they're pretty. This is understandable though, as you're not really going to be seeing your character due to the fact it's an isometric MMORPG. You're going to be getting a top-down view. Not many opportunities to look at your character. But if you feel like being a rebel, go ahead and zoom all the way in and enjoy the view, but be careful because it's kind of hard to fight like that. Passing the character customization section of MU Legend, it also has some pretty impressive combat, which you should expect from an isometric action MMORPG. It's quite flashy and fast-paced, even if it's somewhat easy, with monsters, even hordes of them, feeling like proverbial punching bags for you to spam your skills against, instilling that feeling that you're a badass as you litter the ground with the corpses of the monsters you obliterated, collecting all of the spoils that comes with it. Or at least that's how I felt when I did it. Now, I did try out the newest release class called Spellbinder for my first look on this, which by the way has an awesome playstyle. This class, as with all of the other classes for that matter, have multiple gameplay styles based on the skill choices, soul choices, and chosen weapon. Spellbinders have 2 different types of weapons, being a floating chakram or multiple floating daggers. Once again, each of the classes do have 2 weapon types. It is not exclusive to Spellbinder, just to clarify. Now, Spellbinder's weapon choices were especially good for me because, first of all, they're floating around her. Secondly, it looks great when she uses them. Just look at the daggers flying. The chakram's not that good, to be fair. Another thing to note, all of the skills can of course be leveled up and changed as you reach higher levels, making the combat even better. Something that I found interesting while playing MU Legend is that a lot of the skills are spammable, allowing you to use multiple skills at once, or at least that's what it feels like, which is something I haven't encountered in the other isometric action MMORPGs I've tried thus far. So that was definitely something incredibly fun to use. The world of MU Legend is quite vast, even though it is an instance world. Traveling the region can take quite a while. Besides that, each region is stuffed full of monsters that all want to murder you and randomly attack you. But typically you won't run into any troubles, as I've mentioned prior. It's pretty easy, at least early on. MU Legend also has traditional dungeons and raids to participate in. Just like any normal MMO, it's got destructible environments, but the main appeal to MU Legend that I found is the combat. While the story seems to be mostly voice acted, I would see most players ignoring most of the dialogue and just focusing fully on the combat aspect of MU Legend, which isn't necessarily bad, but it can get quite repetitive, at least from my experience. All in all, while playing MU Legend, having played it at launch and now, the major difference I've seen is the population. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people playing right now. Not only that, but there is only 1 server, which is absolutely disappointing. I had high hopes for MU Legend when I originally played it, and it's sad to see it's dwindled so much. I would say while MU Legend is a fun MMO in its own right, I have played better isometric isometric action MMORPGs, so the question really is, do I believe it is still good? And the answer to that is yes, it is still a good game. Is it worth playing right now, however? It's not something I would be racing to play in my free time. I do prefer playing MMOs that are more populated and less repetitive, but that is of course what I think. All in all, it is still a good game. Just, you know, pretty generic. So with all of that being said, what do you guys think of MU Legend? Are you excited it's coming out on Steam, or are you impartial to it? Either way, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a good day, night, or afternoon, wherever it is where you are, and I shall be seeing you guys next time, so don't forget to come back.